On MNS this week, we're at Oriel Park, where Dundalk were at home to Cork City, who've been going well in recent weeks. Could the Lily Whites put a stop to their gallop? Well, let's get down to the games, and Oriel Park was the venue as Dundalk played Cork City on Friday night. Cork came into the game on the back of 3 wins and a draw. The Loudmen looking for only their second home win of the season. Hugh Cowell reports.
A late strike from Dennis Behan who claimed the points for Cork City at Oriel Park as they just about got the better of Dundalk. The Rebels had the best opportunity of the opening half, Sullivan gaining ground down the right before delivering a harmless looking cross towards Thomas Heary. His header only as far as Gamble, the midfielder couldn't keep his shot down. Darren Manstrom has proved a handful for defences in the league so far this season, and his persistence here was almost rewarded with a goal. Not a bad strike off balance. Definitely something for Paul Doolan to think about. Rebels left back Danny Murphy almost left Chris Benyon red-faced 12 minutes later. His chip ball in from the left looked to have deceived the Dundalk keeper, but Benyon recovered to palm the ball onto the post. The home side failed to clear though. Cork were awarded a free kick in a promising looking position after this foul on Behan. Decent cross followed from Sullivan, and Benyon was tested once again when he went up against Murray and Gamble on his own line. A close call in the end for the home keeper. Dundalk finished the half strongly, Manstrom and Connor involved in the build-up. Chris Turner's 30-yard strike swerving just past the right-hand post. Cork City started brightly after the break. Danny Murphy involved in the build-up. Dennehy's shot though had the power, just not the accuracy. Again, Cork pressed in search of that opener. Good play on the right, found Dennehy for the cross. Behan's header just creeping over the bar. And Dundalk managed to pull ahead after the hour mark. George O'Callaghan's terrific cross found Turner unmarked in the box. No mistake whatsoever with the header. 1-0 Dundalk. That seemed to jolt Cork into action though. Gamble with a lovely ball for Dennehy on the left. A decent strike but a good save from Benyon. Dundalk almost made it 2 minutes later. The cross inch perfect from Singh. The header though just wide of the target. The Leesiders kept on the pressure and they managed to equalise with 15 minutes to go. Ger Rowe could only divert the ball to Gamble on the right. His cross towards the box left Liam Burns and Chris Benyon in limbo. Dennehy on a hand to poke the ball home. Dundalk felt they had good pause for a penalty when Mulvena was challenged in the box. None was given though. Doolan certainly wasn't complaining about the decision. And right at the death, Cork nicked the win. Behan powering his way past Thomas Heary at the back, holding his nerve to finish off coolly into the near post. Dundalk will certainly feel hard done by, but it's Cork City who leave Oriel Park with 3 points. 2-1 the final score.
Yeah, it's been a good turnaround from the first few weeks. Obviously, we, hadn't the best start to the season, but we're starting to go slowly the way we want to go, and we've had 4 or 5 away games this year, and they've been big wins and big draws, and obviously coming here, we wanted to keep the unbeaten run going, and we've turned the season around the way we wanted to go, and hopefully we keep it going for the future.
I think we were patient, we've kept the ball. I think our goal was a good goal to watch, and as I say, it was a good footballing goal, and disappointed that we've been beat, as I say, by a long ball over the top, and there's lots of questions you can ask why the ball was allowed to bounce on the edge of the box, why we just didn't put something through it.
There's always been a good bunch of players here, but I feel that they probably weren't maybe going in the right direction, so hopefully, as I said, that they realise that you need to train well and do the right things, and so hopefully the club can get going, and we can maybe build on probably the good start that they're having now.
That was interesting, Pat, what Paul Doolan had to say there about the team not going in the right direction under the previous regime.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that he said that. I mean, firstly, for Cork, they get a late winner. They've been conceding late goals in the last couple of weeks, so they get a late winner, so that's good for them. They got 3 points. Going back to his comments, you know, you look at last year, you know, they were sort of 8 points or 9 points behind, eight games in. Alan Matthews was under a bit of pressure. A few financial things happened off the pitch, and, you know,
that was a big problem.
Yeah,
for the club,
it led to other things. And then obviously when you look at Damien, who's across the coaching with us tonight, I mean, he had the issue where when he came to Cork first in 2005, he'd taken over from Pat Dolan, and he was basically probably told he had to win a league. And it comes down to the whole system that we've talked about earlier on, that, you know, when you're at a big club, you have to have the decisions.
But is that the expectation at Cork now? I mean, it's win the league or...
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what they need, because if you look at Cork as a club, they've only won the league twice. And that was in '93 and when Damien won in 2005. And they expect to win it. They've had the squad of players to do it. So when Paul has come out with comments like that, yes, you can understand that he's trying to go the right way, but when you look at the previous starts, they've always been poor. Yes, they're going in a good direction now. They've had a few wins, but the must and only must for Cork is win the league.
People say that there's too much pressure in football now, not enough patience. But when you're at a big club, Con, wherever the country you're working in, there is no time. You're expected to win games and you're expected to win trophies. So taking over Cork City, you're expected to have this season, last season and the season I started to win the league title or lose it very, very
Even
closely.
though they've lost so many quality players. I mean, we've seen so many great goal scorers who've left the club over the last 2 seasons.
Even though you lose great players, you still have to keep the team up there. Look at Cork City, there are loads of good quality experienced players who've won league and cup. So you would expect Cork this season to be doing something special.
Sean, for Dundalk, I mean, they find themselves second from bottom of the table now. How worrying is that?
I'm sure like the manager would want to be looking at it. Like there's a lot of big players there, you know, like George O'Callaghan, Fabio O'Brien. He's brought in a good defence, what I feel an experienced defence, and they're conceding silly goals. Like the goals that they conceded the other day, I thought was poor defending. You know, so they need to be picking up points at home, and when they do go ahead, they need to be able to shut up shop.
It seems to be a problem for them this campaign.
It definitely does, and you wouldn't expect that because like Thomas Heary there, Liam Burns, and also the left back as well. Like they should be shutting up shop and they should be letting or conceding many goals because they have that experience.
Okay, there's a 6-mark question now. Left back for Dundalk. Well, it'll come to us in a second. Damien, we got an email from a Cork City supporter who was at the game, Mick Slocum, and he was making the point in his email that it's hard to make tackles on that pitch, and also you get a few funny bounces, and you've just picked out a couple of little instances for us here.
Yeah, I think the two very important parts of the game. The first Cork City goal, actually, I feel, you watch the long ball edge, very high in the air, but watch the bounce of it. It takes a centre-half out of the game, entices the keeper into a ball that he thought was going to come through him. The bounce was very, very unnatural. Watch it here, take everybody by surprise. Then he's facing the goal, so he gets the advantage of it, and he's very cool to finish it. And we look at this one here that might have led to a penalty. Keeper's coming out, all of a sudden the ball holds up. Keeper's in no man's land. Now you could look at those, watch it just digs up here, keeper's dead. And Dan Murray actually doesn't know what to do because he's afraid of conceding a penalty. It wasn't a penalty, but the pitch on both occasions caused something to happen that the player's instincts weren't ready for. And that's the question I have about the pitch. It's great to look at, it brings in very important revenue to the club, but it's no advantage to Dundalk. They've only won one home game this time round, so I'm not saying it's an advantage, but it's not natural.
Before you scream at the television, by the way, we all know that Dave Rogers is the left back at Dundalk. The playing on a pitch like that, though, Sean, for players who aren't used to playing on it, how different is it to a regular grass pitch?
It's very unnatural, you know, like when a ball is coming out of the sky and you're expected to bounce, it takes an unnatural bounce. You know, it might hold up as we've seen in the examples there, but it's I don't like playing on them. I would have thought that Dundalk might have picked up more points at home, the fact that they've been used to playing on it, but obviously not. But it's a hard. I actually hate playing on that sort of surface, to be honest with you.
Okay, well it is something we'll probably revisit over the course of the season. I know the last time we mentioned the pitch in Dundalk, we got a lot of emails from indignant Dundalk supporters, but it's something we'll talk about again, no doubt.